Hey there, entrepreneurs. My name is Sushant, and welcome to TrepTalks. This is the show where I interview successful e commerce entrepreneurs, business executives, and thought leaders and ask them questions about their business stories and also dive deep into some of the strategies and tactics that they have used to start and grow their businesses. And today I'm really excited to welcome Debbie Quintana to the show. Debbie is the founder of Jocelyn and Company, which is a specialty foods and gourmet gifting brand. And Debbie is also leading Hero Care Packages, a company specializing in curated care packages for military service members. And today I'm going to ask Debbie a few questions about her entrepreneurial journey and some of the strategies and tactics that she has used to grow her businesses. Now, before we dive into this interview, if you enjoyed this content, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And for more interviews like this, please visit treptalks.com. And with that, Debbie, welcome and thank you so much for joining me today at TrepTalks.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
So I was reading a little bit about you and your background, and I read that you were involved in IT security with Cisco. And at a certain point, I believe during COVID, you decided to start your entrepreneurial journey and start Jocelyn and Company. So maybe we can start there. Maybe you can share a little bit about you, about your story.
Sure.
Seems like you were in the corporate world and you kind of transitioned into entrepreneurship. What motivated you and why Jocelyn and Company?
Yeah, sure. So I was in corporate security for Cisco for a little over 12 years. Got laid off, took a package, and decided that I didn't really want to go back into corporate. And so I took a year to decide if I really wanted. I already was in gifting. I already had a gifting company, and I just took a year to decide if I wanted to continue down that path. And ultimately, obviously, the answer was yes. And so I had started a couple of gifting companies, sold them, moved to Arizona. I wanted to get out of Silicon Valley and kind of have a fresh start, a little slower pace. So I moved to Arizona, and you're right, COVID happened. And I decided that I wanted to start my own specialty food brand for a whole bunch of reasons. And one of those reasons was my granddaughter. So at age 6, she was contemplating her life and what she was going to do when she grew up and what career she wanted, and had all this pressure on her.
At,
And
at
so
age 6.
yeah, at age 6. I mean,
Okay.
she's really intelligent, like she's smart, and she was
Okay.
legitimately concerned about what she was going to do with her life.
Wow.
And so I told her, I said, don't worry about it right now. You can do anything you want at any given time. It doesn't have to, you don't have to make decisions at age 6. And I said, and you watch, because grandma's going to do something that she's always wanted to do. And I'm going to name it after you. And that's what I did. Her name's Jocelyn.
Awesome. I mean that's so what does he what does she think about this? Like is she part of this company or
Yeah, well, fast forward, she spends every summer with me, and this summer she's 16 now, and she decided that she wanted to start filling orders, so she's filling orders.
I mean it's probably such a great training like in business. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so can you talk a little bit about your products? Like what is this of course it's a specialty foods, but there's also a gifting aspect of it. Like what's the value proposition?
Yeah, so I've got two different divisions of Jocelyn & Co. One division is specialty foods, and really what I wanted to do is bring a modern aesthetic to the market. So if you look at traditional packaging that you find in gifting and in grocery stores, they aren't exactly the most pleasing to the eye. And being in gifting, I wanted something that was going to match and work well together and look modern. So I started the specialty food line that started with just 12 products that were charcuterie related. Charcuterie was very hot then. It was just hitting really heavily. And then we ended up adding more products and more products. And now I think we have over 100, about 109 different products. So that's one. The second one, which is at jocelynco.ai, is our corporate gifting program. And this is where we really work. And our value proposition really is about client acquisition, employee retention, and really using gifting as a vehicle to be successful with whatever capacity of business that you hold.
Yeah, to me, it seems like there's probably a much bigger market on the B2B side for something like this than direct to consumer. Like, I mean, during COVID, I can see there probably was a lot of demand on the consumer side, but do you still see a
Mhm.
similar demand, or are you more
Yeah,
focused
I
on
mean,
the?
I would say 80% of my business is business to business. We don't do a ton of direct to consumer, probably should be doing more. But really my focus is helping busy business professionals.
Awesome. That makes a lot of sense. So when you got started, you said that you already had some sort of a gifting or specialty food business.
Mhm.
Um, what kind of did it require? I mean, obviously you said you started with a small number of products. Did it require a lot of investment? Like, what was the process like of getting your products, packaging it, and did it require a lot of upfront investment?
I didn't have a lot of money. So no, I mean, I couldn't invest a lot of money in the company. So I did everything myself. I didn't hire a graphic designer. I learned to do that myself. I didn't know how to design a box or what a die line was. I had to learn all of those things. Thank God for YouTube. And so I did everything. I did everything I possibly could myself. I learned how to make my own website and do all of the things to really get me started. So it wasn't a massive investment for me. I'm fundraising right now because we are getting to the point where I do need to get an investment. But I have funded the company, friends and family loans, and positive operating profits.
So right now you said you need investment. Is it really to scale the business or?
Yeah, we really would like to scale to 10 million. So that's our goal. I would say somewhere between 6 to 8 years, we'd like to get there.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Um, what does your product, um, I guess, supply chain or manufacturing or creation process look like? Is it in-house? Is it outsourced? How does it all work?
Yeah, it's a little 50-50. So when prior to getting into the gifting industry, I owned the Gift Designers Association. And I had started that to really bring the gift basket industry together. And as a part of that association, there were a lot of vendors that were working with the gifting industry. And so I just picked the vendors that I had good relationships with, and I went to them and said, I need you to make this product for me. And if it was a cracker, I went to the best company that makes crackers. And if it was candy, I went to the best company that made candy. And I just asked them if they could make this special product for me, and this is what I'm looking for. And I have small volumes at first, but I'm going to grow. And I moved forward with that. So it was nice that I didn't have to go make major investments in my own manufacturing. We do some of our own manufacturing, but the majority of it is outsourced.
And those vendors were willing to accommodate easily, or like did they give you a
Yeah,
hard time?
no, they were great. They were absolutely great. Every
Okay.
single, yeah.
And any business, any new business, I guess, the big challenge is once you have your business name registered, once you have your product ready, how do you get to your first customers? So can you share a little bit about, your initial traction?
Yeah.
And even like, I know you had some experience in this before. Like, did you have a sense that this is something that there was a demand in the market, or it's going to actually work in the market, or was it kind of a shot in the dark?
Yeah, I mean, I think from a specialty food standpoint, I knew it was going to work for sure because the gift basket supplies that were out there were really old, and antiquated and boring and just did not have a fresh and modern look. So I knew at a minimum for me and my company, it was going to work. But I went on to a wholesale marketplace called Faire.
Hmm.
And it really catapulted our business. We did our first million in 11 months, which was
Wow.
not expected in any way, shape, or form, nor was I prepared for that financially. So it was a really great blessing, but at the same time, a little bit of a curse because we really had to navigate how we were going to fill those orders in a timely manner, how we were going to get product in. My packaging, for example, is made overseas. My breadsticks come from Italy. And so it was a little bit of a challenge to try to, okay, how are we going to make this happen? But the second I went to market, it catapulted. So I was, of course, thoroughly happy because I knew that I knew that that was going to happen, but not to that extent, I guess I should say. I didn't think that we would do $1 million that quickly.
Wow. I mean, that's that's a good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was really you got your traction through Fair, or was it anything else
It was
also?
it was through Faire, but keep in mind I also own the Gift Designers Association, and so I was connected to, thousands of gift basket company owners globally, right? I already knew all of these people, so I was able to bring my product to market to them too, and they all loved it. So it was relatively easy for me to get business. It still is. I don't have to do a lot of marketing. It's not difficult for me to get orders right now. It's more about the financial piece of fronting the business.
So if I hear you correctly, you're kind of more on the supply side of things and all these gifts, I guess I don't know what you call them, retailer or like they're
Yeah.
the ones who are buying from you?
Yeah. Yeah. We sell to at least 30 different industries, 9 countries, anywhere from specialty food retailers to churches, schools, gyms, gifting companies, obviously. We just sell to everybody. It's incredible to me to see how wide our customer base is in terms of industries.
And so you got your traction a million within the first 11 months. Did you see like a consistent growth year over year, even after COVID went away?
Yeah, yeah, we got to 5 million in 2022, relatively easy. Again, it was a struggle financially to do that without a major investment. My friends and family were my guardian angels there. But yeah, we see consistent growth, absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about that financial aspect of things because, I think a lot of entrepreneurs kind of, I mean, on the one hand, it's a good problem to have, but it also, I think, probably kills a lot of businesses.
Mhm.
Um, was the financial challenge really that you are getting a lot of orders, but now you have to figure out how am I going to get enough products in hand to be able to fulfill them? Is it
Correct.
really about having the cash on hand? Is that really the challenge?
Yeah, I mean, so if you look at, we sell in two different environments, right? We sell on Shopify and we sell on Faire. On Shopify, if my clients place orders there, they pay when they place the order. No problem. I have the cash. Great. On Faire, you don't get paid until you ship. So
Mhm.
you basically have to front the money to have the amount of inventory that you need to fill those orders. So when that $1 million happened, oh my gosh, I mean, we weren't ready at all. I think maybe we had out of the initial 12 products we launched with, maybe we had 20 cases of each, and we were selling 100, 300 cases. So that was a major, major challenge. And you're right, a lot of companies do go out of business because of that. And I don't know how I pulled through. Now I look back and think, how did I even do that?
Hmm.
Uh, but definitely my friends and family for sure.
Wow. Okay. So you were instead of selling to banks or someone, you were going to your friends and family, and you were like, "Listen,
Mhm.
I've got so many orders I need to fulfill." So did
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to kind of give like some sort of a return on investment also to them, or?
Yeah, no, they were all about it. I mean, they were helping me fill orders, right? So
Okay.
they saw it. I mean, they saw the orders come in. They were able to kind of be involved in this growing process that we were having. So yeah, my friends and family definitely stepped up in a variety of ways, not just financial.
So now, given that you know that your primary target market is B2B, like, do you also, of course, you're selling through Faire, but do you also have like, but you said that you don't have a sales problem. So I mean, I was going to ask you, are you creating like a sales team that's, actively reaching out to new industries, so forth? But you're saying you have more sales that you
I
can handle.
Yeah, so this is probably going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I stopped marketing until we get an investment,
Okay.
because my concern is that, as we rose into 2021, 2022, 2023, and so forth, it just got to the point where it just continued to be difficult to front the amount of money. It got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so in 2024, I put the brakes on any advertising and marketing that we were doing. Literally said, stop putting us out there, stop marketing, stop doing all of those things until we get an investment. And so I spent all of 2024 making process improvements, getting my company to be like as perfect as I possibly could be. So when an investor does look at my company, they see that everything we've built is scalable, and is on point. And so now we just started the process, and it is so hard. But we just started the process of completing our pitch deck and now starting to reach out to some investors.
Now
So
that gives me a,
once we get an investment, then I'll rev up the marketing program again.
okay, that makes a lot of sense. But that tells me that, that in this space there's more demand than the
Mhm.
people who want to supply. So there's like an opportunity. Like, do you see a lot of competitors who are do you have competitors that are coming up in this space?
Yeah, I mean, there are some competitors, but the thing with my company is that we have 109 products that are all very different, right? So we're not just a candy company or just a chocolate company. We really cover a wide amount of different products, right? So we don't have any massive competitors. I think that from a gifting and maybe specialty food standpoint, obviously Harry and David would be probably our biggest competitor. And I'm never going to be able to compete with them, at least I don't think so. But yeah, from a competition standpoint, I don't feel that. I'm not feeling like I'm losing business to a competitor. I don't see that anyways.
Okay. I mean, that's so interesting. What does your team look like right now?
Yeah, so I run really, really lean. We have a seasonal team that comes in during the holiday, obviously from October to January. We have a seasonal team that could be anywhere from 20 to 50 people, depending on what our gifting and specialty food production is. On a day-to-day basis, I run nine people. Two of them are overseas, so one in India, one in Pakistan, and then the rest of my team is here locally.
And so most of these people, I'm assuming that in your business, like you need customer service, you need people who can fulfill.
Yes.
Um, who else? Who else is there?
Yeah, so I have a lot of technology integration within my corporate gifting company. So I have a developer in Pakistan, and I have a kind of a admin type person that's in India that works for me, that handles all of our special projects. And we're really in growth mode right now with the corporate gifting side of our business because we're really diving into AI. So she kind of handles all of those projects. And then, yeah, we've got production. The rest of them are production people. And then, of course, my husband, who's free labor, he picks up anything that's on the outskirts that needs to get done too.
So that's so interesting. You mentioned AI. I'm very curious to know how businesses are leveraging AI. Can you share
Yeah.
what you're doing with AI?
Yeah. So we have two different technologies in the gifting company right now, and one of them is gifting preference. So if I was to send you a gift, you would get a link to an AI chatbot that basically says, tell us what your favorite hobbies are. What are your favorite food and beverages? What type of activities do you like to do? And what happens is once you complete that survey, we call it a survey, my team will curate a gift based on your responses. So instead of getting a generic gift that somebody else picked out for you with things maybe you don't like, you're now going to get a gift that we know 150% you're going to love because we're sending things directly against what you said. So that's one technology that we have. The other technology that we're launching hopefully tomorrow is text to gift. So instead of having to log on to a website to send a gift, you literally will be able to type the word gift to our number, and it takes you through 4 questions to ask you, who do you want to gift? How much do you want to spend? What's the card message? And then we take it from there. So we're really trying to make gifting easier and faster, more personalized than it has in the past. No more generic gifts. We want to make sure that that we're sending something that we know you're going to love.
So basically, this text to gift is person puts your text number on the phone. They say they write something like gift or something,
Yep.
and then they get prompts, and you ask them what's your preference. You know, who do you
Yes.
want to send? What's your amount? And then based on that, do they get a link to pay, or how does that work?
Yeah, they have to pre-register for that service, so we already know who they are. So it goes through a workflow where we send the gift link to the person or we fulfill the order for them. And then once the order is shipped, they get an invoice. So that whole workflow is automated all the way through the time that they pay.
Wow, that is so interesting. So
Yeah,
e-commerce, in a way, will become where a person doesn't go to the website,
right.
but rather they are sharing their preferences and you're giving them options that they
Mhm.
can select, and then basically, uh, either they're automatically billed or they're taken to some sort of a checkout process.
And the recipient, if they tell us that they like to hike and they enjoy red wine and they, prefer pizza and pasta, when they receive that gift, it's a surprise to them. They don't know what they're going to receive. So we know 100% that they are getting something that they love. And we're really able to give our client that level of personalization to that person, which is, to me, something that the industry really isn't doing.
So is this idea, did you come up on your own? Because I mean, this is the
Oh,
first time I'm hearing an e-commerce
yeah.
business really come up with such an idea for
Yeah, no,
e-commerce.
this actual idea came from another company that I was doing some work for. So I can't take credit for that.
Okay.
The texting part of it was my idea because I was really thinking about who's the salesperson that's walking out of a sales meeting. They just met with a client. And how can they send a thank you gift without having to go back to the office or get on their laptop to send a gift, right? They can walk out of their meetings, text a gift to us, and tell us what they want, and off we go. So looking at I mean, I'm a busy business professional. I don't want to have to log into a website if I don't have to. If I can simply text somebody and say, handle this for me, which is what a lot of my clients were doing anyways. They were literally just texting me saying, hey, Debbie, I just talked to this client. She's not feeling well. Do you mind sending her a get well gift? And, blah, blah, blah. And so I just decided to kind of make that process a little bit more technology based as opposed to them texting me and then I have to take action.
Hmm. Now, being an IT professional yourself and, having the corporate background, I mean, I would think that if you were implementing the solution like in the corporate world, like and hiring big agency, they would charge millions of dollars to implement this. Like, and you said you were working with someone in Pakistan or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did a lot of the upfront work myself because I can do some IT stuff. I was in physical security. I wasn't in IT security, so I didn't
Oh,
really learn
okay.
anything related to IT at Cisco anyways. But I got really lucky. Somebody referred me to a developer in Pakistan and he has been exceptional. I just cannot believe that at the very first one I found was just so wonderful. And he's just been really, really great at kind of going along with my vision of what I wanted.
I mean, that is awesome
Yeah,
because
lucky.
usually it doesn't work. Yeah, even like people you're trying to work in those like Pakistan or India, like it's a lot of work for you to try to explain things. And but hey,
Absolutely.
it's working
Yeah,
out.
we really developed a really strong communication process so that we could work efficiently and quickly. And he built this for me very, very fast. Like he really has done a thorough job, and I keep adding to it. I'm sure he's tired of me by now, but well, wait, maybe we could do this instead, and maybe this could say this. And so he makes it happen for me, which is so great.
Awesome. Um, Can you talk a little bit about your warehousing and fulfillment process? So you get all the items. Are you warehousing in-house? Are you working with like a third-party logistics? How do you ship out your products?
Yeah, so we have our own warehouse. And what I loved, I have to plug Saltbox for a second. Saltbox is a communal warehouse environment. And so there's shared resources in terms of docks and receiving personnel and all these different things. So we were in a regular warehouse and then we just moved to Saltbox, which is a communal warehouse. And the great thing about this environment is we have our regular size warehouse, but during the holiday, if we need extra space, they have the ability for us to scale into extra space, which is wonderful. And so we do all of our own fulfillment, all of our own shipping, all of our own packaging ourselves. I don't use a third party at all.
Wow, this is a very interesting idea. So it's almost like you you're working with a shared warehouse where and you it's basically scalable. So at times where you need more space, they can accommodate you. At times where you need less space, you can scale down. And so your I guess your pricing scales up and down according to how much you're using.
Yeah, absolutely. And the previous, traditional warehouse that we were in was triple what I'm spending right now. So this really worked out for us from, helping with my margin, and also being able to scale up and down in terms of space when I need it. I don't have to have more space. I mean, during the holiday season, our business is, 15, 20 times what it normally is. So I had to get a warehouse that was going to accommodate that. And then the rest of the months out of the year, I'm not using all of that space. So this was a really easy decision for us to move into Saltbox.
Wow, that's interesting because I think at during the holiday season, everybody would have more space requirement.
Yes.
And so I guess, they're able to work with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Now, I know you mentioned that you're shipping out to 11 or so countries.
Mhm.
Um, I'm assuming still US is your biggest market. And can you share a little bit about, what other regions you're shipping out to? And
Yeah.
maybe also what have you learned about your customers? Like, are people in other countries, regions have different preferences for gifting, the different ways of gifting versus, how we do it in North America? Like, what have you learned about your customers?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're shipping into 9 different countries and we're doing that through Faire. So what I
Okay.
did, we do some international shipping as well ourselves, but I didn't want to have to learn how to ship into each individual country. Each country has its own regulations, its own rules, its own paperwork that you have to fill out. And so we started doing international shipping through Faire. They already had it figured out. When you go to ship a product, it prints out whatever you need to include with the gift. And I will say that our products have been well received in all 9 countries. I mean, there isn't any type of algorithm in terms of what I'm seeing in certain countries, right? And quite honestly, France and Italy have been our largest, and I would say, well, London likes us too, but we've done a lot in those countries in terms of just shipping crackers and not necessarily cheese, but the candy products and our nuts and fruits and things like that have been really popular out there. And it's not really any different than here in the States. There really hasn't been anything that stands out.
I mean, I would say it's surprising because, you would think France and Italy, they're like, I mean, Italy is a very, why would they want food from the US? Same
Yeah,
with France. It's like, it's a very, um, I guess, culinary culture.
yeah. No, I think
And
the majority of the people that are buying our product outside of the United States are gifting companies and specialty food stores.
okay.
That's the kind of the 2 areas that I see, and probably about 50-50 of each.
So I guess maybe there's a demand for gifts from other countries. Like people
Mhm.
want to try out things from other countries.
US-based products, absolutely. And Fair's done a really good job of entering those markets and hyping it up as well. So we do really well there.
Now, Faire is a very interesting platform. I'm not too familiar with it, but I'm thinking that it's similar to Amazon, but for wholesale. Are
Exactly.
you so you
Exactly.
list your so you list your business and your products, but do they also market you, or do you market it yourself? Like, how do people or businesses discover you on Faire?
Yeah, I mean, they do have they just released a bit of a marketing program now that you can sign up for. But prior to that, when I first started on Faire, I knew some of the people at Faire, and so they were very accommodating to get me on board and to showcase my product as a new vendor. But what happens on Faire is somebody's going onto Faire and searching for crackers, or they're searching for dried fruit, and we're showing up because that's what we sell. So it's just a matter of, yeah, there's probably 50 companies on there that are selling crackers, but which product do they like the most, right? And they really are they're picking our packaging, really. They really do like the aesthetic of our packaging because it's bright and light. And so that's how we really catapulted our business is just being that vendor on Faire that was kind of fresh and new.
Now, you said that you were very involved in the packaging or branding side of your business initially. Did you like come up with your own branding? Did you work with someone
Mhm.
uh, uh, like some designer to come up with? I mean, your packaging or your branding is very clean, and of course, it looks classy. Did you come up with this, or?
I did. I couldn't afford to hire any type of a graphics company or anybody. I did all of that myself. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, congratulations.
Thank
It
you.
looks great.
Thank you.
Um, so in terms of your future vision for your business, I know you said that you're looking for investment to scale and really bring your business to that 10 million mark. Um, how do you just see your business growing in size, or do you see adding more products to your business or getting into different other categories? What do you see your business, let's say, 5 years down the road?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna stay where we're at in terms of products. We'll probably, we usually add 2 or 3 per year. But I'm not gonna grow by adding more. We're gonna grow with our existing clientele and gaining more new clients, right? Especially in the corporate gifting space, because there's a huge open market for that for us. So we're really going to start to, once we do get that type of investment and we can handle filling orders and same day shipping and all of the goals that we want to hit in terms of in terms of all those metrics, and we start advertising, we're really, really going to push hard into the corporate gifting space and really grow that side of it. The specialty food space will continue to grow as we continue to release a few new products here and there. I don't have an issue on that side. I just really want to grow the corporate gifting side of things. So I would hope in the next 5 years that we have, hopefully gone to, I don't know, 20, 30 times our client base on the corporate gifting side.
Now, on the corporate gifting side, are they buying from you through Faire, or are you planning to have like a sales team to start targeting the corporate?
Yeah. So from a corporate gifting standpoint, a lot of our new business is coming from referral. And so we have, because we have this unique approach to you're a corporate business professional. Let's take a look at your industry and everything you need to do in terms of client acquisition, employee retention, and how can we set up different workflows from a gifting standpoint to support you in that regard. And so we're really meeting a lot of new clients that are saying, gosh, I just closed a home loan for this client. Can you send them a closing gift? And then next year, can you send them a home anniversary card and a $20 gift? And they just sent me a referral. Can you send them a $20 gift and a card? And really looking at it from a holistic standpoint of everything that they need to do to make a good impression with their client, right? And you definitely do that through a physical gift that they're going to receive. So we really want to start to tell that story and really grow that client base. Anybody who has clients should be using our service in some way, shape, or form. And there's plenty of those people out there that we can acquire.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of like maybe real estate. Maybe it's a big thing for real estate.
Absolutely.
In every entrepreneur's journey, there's always, well, before I go there, I wanted to quickly ask you, marketing and advertising. To me, it seems like you haven't had the need to do a lot of marketing or like paid advertising and so forth. But I guess as you are going to start targeting corporate customers and so forth, that is something that you will pursue. Can you talk a little bit about if you have done have you had any PR exposure or marketing campaigns, advertising campaigns, and
Yeah, I mean, we've had a little bit here and there, and we've done a little bit here and there. I've never done paid ads, but we have done, I've done other podcasts, I've done other, PR news stories, and been highlighted in different places, which has brought us some attention, which is great. But quite honestly, yes, I mean, we really haven't on purpose been dialing up or implementing our marketing plan. We have one. We know what we're going to do when we do get an investment. We know what we're going to fire. We have our creatives already made, ready to go. So that when we do get an investment, we can really dispatch those. And we will do that in-house because we know how to. I don't necessarily need to hire a third-party company to do that. However, one of my clients does that, so we'll see. Maybe we can trade some business. We'll see. But I mean, I know what I want to do once I do have an investment in terms of marketing and advertising. And really, we are really going to lean in heavily on LinkedIn. That's where everybody on LinkedIn can use our company. And so that's really going to be our main focus, is really telling our story and what we can do for our clients through LinkedIn.
Awesome. In every entrepreneur journey, there's always mistakes made, lessons learned, failures. Since you've started your business, I mean, it seems like, or at least what I hear is things have been going pretty well. Have you had any failures or lessons learned, mistakes made? What was the lesson for you? What can other entrepreneurs learn from your mistakes?
Sure. I mean, how much time do we have, right? I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, we've made some mistakes for sure. I have made some mistakes. I shouldn't say I have made some mistakes. I think one of them was the financial end of this. Is not really, thinking about how big the company could grow so quickly. And if I would have thought about that and kind of had some type of foresight on that, I would have done that a little bit differently, right? I would have tried to go to a bank and get a bank loan and do it the way that most companies do it, or try to get an investor at the gate. For me, I think I was kind of testing the waters to see if this was going to work and take off. And then I intended to do something like that, but it just started happening so quickly. I didn't pause, and I should have paused more. I definitely recommend that to business owners, is to really take the time to stop, get out of the madness for a minute and really reflect on what you're doing and if you're making good decisions in that regard. I think the other thing is I've had some failed partnerships and relationships that just didn't work for us. We had another gifting company that was buying cheese from us, and they never paid us, and that was a
Hmm.
lot of money, like north of $30,000.
Hmm.
So, there's some decision making there in terms of who do you trust? Who do you give net 30 to? So, there's been some of that that's happened. We just recently had a partner that didn't work out for us. And I really wish that I would have asked for more information at the beginning, because the numbers that they were giving us weren't adding up. And so I think my biggest lesson learned is more due diligence all the way around, really to
Wow.
better understand what you're walking into, what you're doing, and what the potential positive impact could be. A
Hmm.
lot of us are like, okay, well, if it doesn't work out, no big deal. We only invested $10,000. But what if it does, right? So
Hmm.
if it does work out, what are the implications there? So a little bit more due diligence on my part, and not being so trusting.
Hmm.
Um, Something that I've personally learned.
I mean, that's so interesting. So you never recovered that $30,000? No. Okay.
No, no, I never will either. I don't think they'll ever pay us.
So in that sense, like the due diligence is that you do credit checks, and I know in the corporate world there's like ways of doing due diligence, but for a small business, how do you make sure that if you're giving someone 30,000 worth of your product, like you're going to get the money back? Like
Yeah, I mean,
what is?
I won't ever do it again. I mean, I will always require at least half down,
Okay.
or your first order you pay up front, and maybe your future orders, we have a different arrangement. But for the most part, most of my clients pay up front now.
Can you
Like,
sue them? Can you sue them?
I could sue them if I want to spend the money to do that. I
Oh yeah,
could. Absolutely. Yeah,
that's
but
like you're
how
only
much is
making
that
the
gonna
lawyers
cost?
rich.
Yeah, how much is that going to cost me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big problem. What are the three, can you name like three digital platforms or technologies that are absolutely indispensable in your business?
Yeah, I mean, Slack, I just can't say enough. I have to have Slack. It completely changed the way that my team and I communicated, the way that we worked. We're way more efficient now. We are not sending emails or text messages back and forth. Slack really has changed our work life. So that's one. Um, the second one is Notion. We
Hmm.
really we were having a problem, not only tracking projects, which you can do in Slack with lists, but it's not as efficient as something like Notion. And so now I really can get into Notion and really track our projects properly, and everybody has a visibility to it, which is, I think, is important. Um, oh gosh, number three, and it's going to sound strange, but I use literally the company live chat, and I'm on live chat. So I
Hmm.
can literally be the first person that my clients talk to if they do need to engage. And you'll see on the front page of our website, it says live chat with our CEO. That has really, really changed the speed in which we are engaging with our clients. If they want something or they have a question, I'm able to personally answer it, and they know that it's the CEO of the company. Now, yes, I pass things on once they come to me, but that one has really changed. And I never thought that it would, because we've had live chat over the years, but this time around, it's really changed the engagement piece with our clients.
I think this is, I don't know if I would call it marketing, or, I mean, I think this is quite very smart, because I think people would be like, okay, I'm talking to the person, and so I think there's a certain level of trust that builds, that if
Mhm.
I'm placing an order, like there's someone highly responsible who's going to take care of it. So I think this is, I've never seen this strategy before, but I think this is quite smart.
Yeah, believe me, I've caught a lot of flack for it. Do you have enough time as a CEO to be on live chat? And yes, I do. I will make that happen, right? I'm not sitting there every waking moment talking to people. But for me, it's the right thing to do. At least right now. Who knows? As we grow bigger, I'm not gonna, maybe I won't have time. But it's really working for us right now.
Very, no, it's great. Now I'm going to move on to our rapid fire segment. In this segment, I'm going to ask you a few quick questions and you have to answer them maybe in a word or a sentence or so. So the first one is one book recommendation for entrepreneurs and why?
Yeah, I don't know what year he wrote this, but Gary Vaynerchuk wrote a book called Crush It
Yeah,
many years ago, and it changed everything for me and just in terms of perspective. Highly recommend.
awesome.
Mhm.
An innovative product or idea in the current e-commerce, retail, or tech landscape that you feel excited about?
Hmm, that's a good one. This is probably going to answer two of your questions, but there is a lot of innovation happening in the gifting space, and Lindsay Forge from a company called Little Lux Cards has created a brand new kind of gift card package together, and I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited for her. I just think that the innovation coming from the gifting industry is really moving away from traditional gift baskets, and this is really an exciting product she'll be bringing to the market.
Awesome. Um, I know you answered this already. A business or productivity tool or software that you would recommend, or a productivity tip. Any tips for? I know you mentioned Slack and Notion and live chat. Any other productivity tips for CEOs?
Oh gosh, there's so many different things. I don't think I have any other productivity other than, integrated AI into your email. There's different applications for that too that I'm testing right now, because my email is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm looking for ways to, fix that and have them kind of more organized and maybe pared down to what I really need to be paying attention to.
Yeah, I mean, email is such a an essential tool for pretty much everybody now. Like I think most, like I would say 70% of the world population probably use email on a regular basis.
Mhm.
And it hasn't really been fixed or it hasn't really been thought or like rethought of. It's still pretty much the same format that it
Right.
started off at the beginning. And I think there's a lot of opportunity here because it's still I think it's a bottleneck for a lot of people. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have to find a way to um, not only answer people in a timely manner, but to just be more organized when it comes to just the different types of emails that we're getting. And there are some great tools that I'm working on right now to see which one might work for me.
awesome. Um, I know you mentioned one of the businesses that is doing great things. Any other startup or businesses that you feel excited about?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. There's just so many. I mean, this little Lux Cards company is absolutely fantastic. There's another company, a friend of mine named Deb Wasilko, who just rebranded her company from Baskets Galore to Moda Gifting, really to represent her and her daughter. And that's another great one. There's so many different brands out there that are doing incredible different types of work that it's impossible to keep up with all of them. Another one of my most favorite brands, this is not a startup by any way, shape, or form, but Mike's Hot Honey out of New York is one of my very favorite brands, especially from a collaboration and a PR standpoint. I just follow them like crazy. I know the CEO of that company, and they're just doing such amazing things that I'm really paying close attention to that too.
Um, Final question, and I will ask another question after that, but final rapid fire. What is the best business advice that you have ever received or you would give to other entrepreneurs?
Gosh, to trust your gut. When you are making a decision or you're talking to somebody or someone's trying to sell you something or giving you information and you have that little feeling in your gut that's like, something's not right. Well, let's just trust your gut every single time. The times where I did not do that and I took on business or brought somebody on where I felt like it was, the right thing to do and I ignored my gut, it got me in trouble every time. So, and it's hard, especially, like when I was younger, I didn't even know what that meant. Now I'm a little bit older and more seasoned, and just please trust your gut. Just listen to yourself.
Awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of the times you instinctively know the answer, but of course, you have to take into account risk and everything.
Yeah.
Um, One thing that I want to ask you, I mean, to me, it seems like in the gifting space, I mean, gifting is really about building that human relationship connection, showing someone that, you care about their business or, their relationship and so forth.
Mhm.
Um, Now, given that business is moving all towards AI, automation, robotics, everything is, I think it's becoming even more important for people to show that they value other people. Like, what have you, um, when you mentioned that there's a lot of innovation going on in gifting, I mean, it seems like people want to gift each other things. Why?
Yeah, I mean, I think that an email versus a gift is going to get a very different level of attention, right? If you're soliciting somebody, if you want to work with a particular client and you're sending them emails or you're connecting with them on LinkedIn and sending them messages versus sending them maybe something small that says, I'd really like to work with you, right? Using gifting as a lead generator is a very different experience than traditional, marketing, if you will. So that's one area. I think number two is there is a certain level of generosity and engagement that when you explain it to your customer, the difference between what they're doing now, which is nothing, versus gifting, and you explain that to them and explain what the attended outcome and what the outcome really is going to be, which is they're going to be just thrilled to death to receive something from you, it is a very clear indicator that gifting really can accelerate perhaps onboarding a new client or bringing on a new employee. I mean, I have clients that work in the HR industry. They send gifts to people who didn't get the job just
Hmm.
because they want to stay in contact with them, right? So from a business perspective, I do feel that once they understand the impact of gifting, they're on board. I've never had a client say, no, I don't want to do that. Once I explain and give them our sales pitch and in the most detailed way I possibly can, they're definitely onboarding with us.
Yeah, I think it's very true. I mean, as you were sharing that answer, I was thinking about all the times that, I've received gifts, even in the corporate environment, a vendor gave something little.
Right.
And it's like you wouldn't remember the people or the vendors, but you do remember those interactions and, the times that you received something, even if it was not that like a huge thing. So
Absolutely.
um, yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of value there. Um, well, Debbie, thank you so much for your time today, for sharing your story, for sharing your business successes, learnings, and so forth. If anybody wants to get in touch or want to try out your products, what's the best way to do that?
I have two websites, jocelynco.com. It's JOCELYNCO.com, and jocelynco.ai is our corporate gifting division. Thank you for asking me for that.
Awesome. Well, Debbie, thank you so much again for the opportunity,
Thank
and
you. I
I wish
appreciate it.
you all the very best.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.